Monday Night Football, 475, 476. Chicago and Nick Foles, one of the more unheralded teams sitting with a really good football record, being the Bears going up against the Rams, who were stunted last week against the 49ers, didn't really come to play, didn't look all that effective on offense. Cooper Kupp couldn't catch. Jared Goff wasn't making the throws. A real anemic performance that they look to bounce back, but they're going to get a really good defense with the Chicago Bears. But having said that, I'm a proponent. I like Nick Foles. He is perfect for the Chicago Bears offense and team because he plays simple football. I'm going to make the right read. I'm going to dump it off to the running back when he's open. If the tight end's open 7 yards down the field, I can throw and make a play. And also if Allen Robinson is running one-on-one, I'll throw a nice softball that gives him a chance to make a catch and make a play. Because Mitchell Trubisky on all those levels can't play football whatsoever. So it is a nice move. But having said that, this offense really struggles, and it's amazing. Like Tariq Cohen, you don't think of as a big, time player that's going to make a big difference in your offensive game plan. They are absolutely stagnant. Take a look after the Atlanta game, Kyle, when Nick Foles was installed as the starter in the second half. They've rushed for 28 yards at 1.8 yards per carry against Indianapolis. Tampa Bay, 35 yards on the ground, 2.5 yards per carry. And then last week versus Carolina, 63 yards on the ground and 2.5 yards per carry. So say, hey, well, how's their offense doing on, passing wise? Indianapolis, 241 yards, which they got a lot on that last drive when they scored a touchdown that game. Tampa Bay, 208 yards. How about Carolina? 198 yards. I love Chicago's defense. I like Nick Foles being able to manage a game plan, but I just look at this game and see a non-explosive offense going up against an offense that is now chomping at the bit to get after it on the field. And yes, the Bears have a good defense. I just can't trust that offense from Chicago to come up with a victory in this game. So I'm going to go with the points, minus the 6, and take the Rams in this football game on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I those stats you brought up were just 100% great points. They were everything I was looking at when I was looking at this game. And then you just think about, where is the weakness of the Rams defense? I guess the linebacking core, but the Bears aren't a very good rushing football team. Then you're going to put Jalen Ramsey on Allen Robinson. Sometimes he does kind of work his way over into the slot. Then you've got Darius Williams and everyone else. That Rams defense, unless you can scheme around, we've got the 49ers sort of were able to have success because it was a really smart game plan by Kyle Shanahan. Are we getting that same thing out of Matt Nagy? I don't think so. So I think the Bears struggle to score points. I like the under in this game, the under 45 right now. I'm not sure this game gets above 45. I don't trust that Bears offense all that much. And I do think the Bears defense is pretty good. So even though I think the Rams will scheme better, be able to get some players open, will run the football better than the Bears do, I'm not sure these are two teams that both get into the 20s. I think the Rams are the better football team all around. I do think I'm nervous about the -6. That feels just about right. That feels about as efficient as you can possibly get with the line. Matt Nagy is not a genius. I saw that in the chat. If you think Matt Nagy's a genius, I have some magic beans. I have some magic beans to sell you. You can go up the beanstalk and collect the gold from the giant himself. Matt Nagy is not a genius. I don't trust that offense. I'll lean the Rams right here. I like the under as the best play for this game.
And when you look at the game overall, Kyle, because you tried to equate it last week of what you saw with San Francisco, right? When San Francisco was healthy in the first half, explosive running back Raheem Mostert, obviously George Kittle is the single best tight end in football. You roll it over to this week because if you watch anything with the Chicago Bears, and I preface it, they're going to get to the playoffs because they have a very good defense and Nick Foles will be able to manage the game. But in this type of situation, I don't think you can manage the game because I think you're going to get a pretty competent effort back on turf for the Los Angeles Rams, specifically at the wide receiver position, because again, you're looking at the Bears offense. They don't have George Kittle. They don't have a wide receiver that runs, Cordell Patterson, but I don't think he's nearly half the guy Deebo Samuels is at this point. And also the running back position. Montgomery's a nice player, but there's zero explosivity. And you take a look at Aaron Donald in that front line going after a quarterback not all that mobile, I think it makes sense. But if you are a Chicago Bears backer and you're taking a look at maybe making a impact in this game, it doesn't get much better than the Bears front four in this game. And we've seen Jared Goff under pressure really struggle, and those guys will be able to get after Jared Goff. I think McVay will have a pretty good game plan in this. One of those games that fits perfectly into a 24-17 type battle because, again, I don't think the Bears will be as explosive. I don't think the Bears will get into the 20s, so that means I'm going to lean on the Rams in that type of spot here, Kyle.
Yep, completely agree. And that's also why I like the under. I just don't think the offense can get it done. And I don't think Matt Nagy is a great offensive schemer. I know he tries to be, and people want to think that he is. I just, quite frankly, haven't seen it. Not sure how good David Montgomery is. I think Aaron Donald gives him problems up the middle. So I'm leaning the Rams, but my favorite play is the under because this does feel like one of these like 21-16 type of football games. It's a good Monday night game. Probably not going to be all that exciting from a scoring perspective. But yeah, I'll take the Rams. I just think they're better coached, more talent.